Hey guys, join me today as I pot up dahlias and to hopefully have time to get into some other stuff. Hi, welcome back to the Lloydstead. I'm Becky. We are going to play with some dahlias today. First, I'm going to show you my cellar where I store these, talk a little bit about how I store them, and then I'll meet you back here in just a moment. Welcome to my cellar. Hey y'all. So you're in my cellar right now, my dirt floor cellar. So I apologize for the lighting and all the things. But the space is actually perfect for storing a lot of our stuff. So I wanted to show you how I store my dahlias and elephant ears and caladium during the off season. And then I'm going to actually pull them out and then we'll take them outside and sort through them and see what we got. So you guys are going to be seeing this in real time, what they look like. I have checked these once over this winter and they looked okay. So we're going to see, but let me show you what I do. Let me put my copy on. I have 2 boxes right here. And I simply store my dahlia tubers wrapped in newspaper down here in these boxes. So they actually look pretty good. So I'm looking forward to pulling all of them out and seeing where we're at. I am lucky, just so you know, the conditions down here. It stays pretty cool. I've got them on my west facing wall between the dirt floor and this just being a damp old cellar. So far, the conditions have proved to actually be pretty perfect for keeping these really nice and viable. This is my 3rd season. No, this will be my 3rd season growing dahlias. So this is my 2nd season storing them. Is that right? So, yeah, here's another bunch that look at how beautiful they look. This one even has a little bit of growth, pushing a little bit of growth already. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull these out. I'm going to take them outside, and I'm going to show you guys in real time me unwrapping them and seeing kind of what we are looking at, and then how I pot them up. See you guys outside. I hear you. Welcome back. Okay, so as I told you guys down there, I have not actually unwrapped these and looked at them. I looked at them once throughout the season, throughout the off season, which you should do to make sure that they're good, but really that's it. You got to be tough to survive around the Lloydstead. That was actually a couple days ago that I pulled them out of my cellar. I realized that the forecast had temperatures dipping slightly into freezing, and with dahlias, just as a quick aside, this is what I've read. I've actually not experienced this because I have always dug mine up. But they can handle frost and freezing temperatures. The tubers can handle that. The biggest issue with them is rotting when they are in a ground that is cold and wet and freezing and thawing and freezing and thawing. But a light frost would not have killed them. However, I wanted to be extra special sure, especially since this is only my 3rd year growing dahlias in any capacity. And so, total newbie. Hi. Just want to make sure I'm doing things right. I know. Hi, sweetie. So let's do a little unboxing, shall we, and see what we got. And then I will talk about what what I'm going to do, where we're going to go, how we're going to handle all this. So let me switch you guys around, see what we got. Welcome to my little box of tubers. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to keep that in. If I did, you are welcome. And I'm sorry I'm shaking the camera. Okay, let me get off camera. And you guys can hopefully see the deal. Here's where we're at. I did unwrap one. And y'all, I don't label them. I'm pretty awful at stuff like that. But he looks good. So what I'm looking for is tubers that don't look too shriveled and shrunken. They're going to be pretty dried out. But I can kind of squeeze him, and he feels pretty gosh darn firm. So this guy is a keeper. So I'm going to plunk him over. I divided these a good bit when I pulled them out of the ground. So I'll probably talk about that in the fall. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of division and stuff right now, unless I see stuff that desperately needs it. We'll see. We're going to cross that bridge as we get to it. The other thing that I store this way are caladium and elephant ear tubers. So that's what I'm looking at here. Ooh, these guys feel pretty crunchy. So we'll try them. They feel really firm though. Total experiment. These were actually little elephant ears, little caladiums. Not caladiums. What are elephant ears? You know. Can't remember. It's gone. I'll look it up. I might put it up on screen, or it'll occur to me like halfway through this video and I'll suddenly shout it out and it'll be awkward and weird. That's what those are. Chuck those aside to pot up. Let's see. Oh, see. Okay, this is no bueno. These guys are super dried out. Wow, that is fascinating. How I've got a whole bunch that look like this, glorious, and then this guy looks like this. I don't know what variety this was. I hope it wasn't one of my favorites. He also has some mold on him. I don't know why he dried out. Sadness and tragedy. Compost bucket for you, because this is what we're looking for. Again, firm. He looks lovely. All right, so I'm going to set him aside. I'm going to keep on going through. If I find anything worth noting, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, enjoy this time lapse of me looking at Dahlia tubers. Alocasia. That's what the elephant ears are called, right? Right? So I interrupted myself to tell you, I was very careful to put the elephant ears and the caladiums in the box with the dahlias that I wanted to keep. So as to remind myself, this is the box of things I wanted to keep. Because I guess that was easier than me taking a magic marker and writing on the box. What in the world? Anyway, that's that. We'll keep on going. And we're back. All right. Here's my pile of things that I'm going to pot up now. And then we're going to see how many pots I've got left and how much of my soil mix I've got left. And debate whether or not, excuse me, David's calling.
Yes, sir. Are you okay? Can you hear me? Hey!
David just butt dialed me. Jerk. pot these up, stick them in the greenhouse, see where we're at. Now, before I do this, actually, as I start to do this, I'll talk while I do this, and we'll see how well that goes. First of all, we are very close to the average last frost date in my zone 6B garden. So I debated whether or not to just go ahead and stick these out into the garden because I think it might be okay. The reason I didn't is a couple fold. One, I don't want to be stressed about whether or not something terrible is going to happen to them, because that's a thing. And it's just easier to keep them in the greenhouse, even if it does take a little more space. But maybe more practically, less fear-driven, is in the greenhouse, the soil is going to warm up much more quickly. They're going to be in a lovely, protected, cozy environment, and therefore they are going to put on growth faster. It takes a little while for the soil to warm up in the garden. Even though it does heat up faster in the raised beds, it's still going to take a minute. So I probably honestly could have gotten away with doing these even earlier, but here we are now, and I want to get them as much a head start as I can, because y'all, I get it. I get Dahlia fever. I didn't at first. I'm like, well, what a pain. You have to dig them up, and that's annoying. And oh, no, I understand. Completely understand. They are just beautiful flowers. And really, especially in a raised bed, they don't require that much stress. Digging them out was not a huge deal. Obviously, I mean, you guys saw the method by which I stored them. So not a huge deal. I totally think they're worth it. But my sadness only came from realizing that the season is relatively short if you don't get a bit of a jump start. So I wanted to get a bit of a jump start. Yeah, so I'm going to give them as much of a head start as I can without, being stressful. So that's why I'm potting them up and putting them in the greenhouse. The other reason why I like to pot them up, instead of sticking them straight out in the garden, is because I am still a novice at all this. I'm still not completely sure that I did it right, that I am planting the tubers correctly, that I am choosing ones that are healthy, that, I feel like I probably have some stuff to learn. Therefore, I would rather see if the tuber is going to grow in a pot before I plant it out than taking the time to plant it out only to find out it doesn't grow in the garden. I hope that made sense. So that is all that. I have room in my garden for this year. I'm going to plant out 12 dahlias. I should have 12 here, and I'm going to keep on potting them up into these nursery containers. Obviously, I don't know that I need to explain everything. I just reuse all these old nursery containers to pot them up. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. They are not going to spend a ton of time in these. This is really just to get them a head start. Because again, my average last frost date is next week. So I want to be sure, but there's that. All right, I'm going to mix up some more soil, and then I'm going to keep on going and talk at you in a moment. I will show you guys this one. Look, he's growing. They want to grow. as I mentioned earlier, I divided these while they were still young and supple, or I shouldn't say young, while they were still supple when I dug them out of the garden in fall. I apologize that there's the sun. Oh, he's like right there. I should put you over there. Huh, it doesn't matter. So I divided them. I am not 100% on dividing dahlias. Watch other people who have done it for years longer than me. I can say I've watched enough people to know. Here, let me find another one. That you got your tuber, and then somewhere up in here are little growing eyes. And each tuber will make a perfectly good plant, like this guy. This guy up in here, there are supposed to be little growing nodes, growing points. Maybe those are it. No matter how many times I watch videos, I can't always find them on my dahlias. And I know some of you guys are watching this going, wow, inept much. I hope some of you are watching this going, me too. So while you can absolutely just have a tuber that will grow into a big, beautiful plant, I absolutely err on the side of multiple tubers to hedge my bets because I have plenty. The single tubers that I put in the ground last year that I got from Swan Island Dahlias, and again, I'll talk more about the varieties when I plant them out in another video, grew into like this. That's like what I dug up from my single tuber. So I'm okay. I'm okay with multiple tubers, and it's okay. So this is what I'm planting. So that there, I said all that, and let me continue on, and then we'll plant the caladiums and alocasias. So here they are. I potted up 14, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I actually potted up 14 because, like I said, I've got space in my garden bed for 12, and that gives me 2 possible failures. So yeah, there they are. Now y'all, answer me this question in the comments below. If you grow dahlias, those of you who grow dahlias and have fallen in love with them and have done it for more than a couple years, what do you do with all of these? Do you just keep on planting them out and have like a bajillion dahlias? Because I'm tempted. Very tempted. Because it feels like such a waste. But I don't think I've got room for all of them. Look at them. There's so many. And that's not even all of them. This was just the best ones. Decisions. I might find another spot. I might pot up a couple more. I'll pot up a couple more. And because I've got a couple spaces left in my greenhouse. And if I don't use them, I don't use them. But maybe I could find corners to tuck them in. This is how it starts, isn't it? The kernel is out. Excuse me, Miss Priss. What are you doing? Oh, are you two talking? Hi, sweet boy. Here, get back in there. Go on. Go on. Get back in there. Go on. Here's the thing about the kernel. Oh, I've got something in my eye. She gets out daily. Like every couple of hours even. And I'm sorry, I didn't turn my mic back on to go chase the chicken. So she gets out pretty much daily. And by the time we come out to put them to bed and lock up the coop and everything, she's gotten back in. She hasn't gotten eaten yet. Now, her partner in crime, little Blackie, who is a Langshan, like Hamilton. Say hi, Hamilton. She gets out and she can't figure out how to get back in. So when we come down to lock them up, and if she's out, then we've got to pick her up and put her back in the coop. Never a dull moment. All right, back to the Dahlias. Okay, I did pot up a couple more Dahlias. And I guess the rest of these I'll just give away. I'll bless somebody. Hopefully they'll grow them. And then that way, if I end up having, for whatever reason, not potted up some of my favorites, or they didn't grow, because again, didn't label, then they'll be like my backups. Sure. Okay. Next up. So I'm going to set those aside. All right. Again, this is still experiment. A couple years ago, we got a couple of these alocasia, a couple of these big elephant ears. We really like them in the pots down by our fire pit. And this will be their third season if they grow. I kind of feel like it's an experiment. If I don't know if you have priced these, and I don't know if they even call tubers, but I don't know if you've priced them. They are not inexpensive, and they store as easily as Dahlias in my limited experience. So I'm going to pot them up again. I'm going to put them in pots in the greenhouse, so if any fail to grow, I won't have taken the time to put them down in the pots by the fire pit. Also, these guys are very frost tender. So we're going to keep them protected, and we're going to see what becomes of them. And in the fall, I will show you how I went about digging them up and saving them. Okay. Got the Dahlias done. Got the alocasia, elephant ears done. Next thing that I want to do, and this is all I'm going to get to today, is I want to pot up some of these, which are Astilbe. I got a wholesale order, so I have 100. But Dave and I planted about 30 of these Astilbe in the shade garden. And then I took about 30 to the farm for us to plant there as cut flowers. But I still have a bunch, obviously. One, I'm not completely sure that all the ones that I planted in the shade garden have survived. Chickens have made it in there, jerks. Squirrels have been digging stuff up. We had a very dry spell, and Astilbe do not like being dry. That's how I've lost all the Astilbe before that I planted. All that to say, I'm going to pot some up and just grow them on in pots for a little while, and be able to replace any that I lose in the shade gardens, and hopefully find spots for other ones. My whole goal with these, one, I just think they're lovely plants. It's with beautiful ferny foliage and lovely spiky flowers. So I wouldn't mind having 100 of them around the property. So yeah, we're going to see. For now, all I'm going to do is rapid fire. Go ahead and pot them up in these pots and stick them in there and water them, and then go get cleaned up for dinner. Okay, real quick, it's been a couple weeks since I potted these up, and I'm watering things in my greenhouse, and figured I would show you guys what I'm looking for and what these start to look like. So some of them, I got nothing yet, no sign of nothing. This is what I want to start seeing. Like, see this guy? Yes. That is what I'm looking for. And in fact, some people wait until they start seeing those to divide their dahlias, because remember how I was saying the eyes are hard to identify, they become much easier to identify. So we've got growth on quite a few of these. I'm not worried about some of these that are not showing signs of growth yet, because I just know from experience, look, that some of them will take a little bit longer. The other thing I wanted to mention, because I don't know if I did before, I don't water these a ton while they are until they start showing signs of growth, because I can start rotting the tubers if they sit in too much moisture for too long. So I really only give them a ton of water, start giving them a lot of water when they start pushing new growth. There you go. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this, were inspired to do some stuff in your garden today or tomorrow or sometime this week, maybe this weekend. And join us back at the Lloydstead soon. Bye. Y'all, look what Dave did. Yay, Dave! Little solar powered lights to guide our way as we come out to sit on the deck at night. So yay, hopefully you could see that. Back to the Dahlias. Hello greenhouse, you're nice and cozy warm. Oh yes, I love you warm. You are delicious. And yes, you're pro mix. You are so yummy too. I like you, yes I do. So let's be